them up. Hold them up.
Look at that. How about that?
That's good. How much do they weigh?
I don't know, but they're getting kind of heavy.
Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Is it almost the same size?
You guys to wrestle him and I'll take a picture of it. Take it easy on him.
Downtown Baghdad. That reminds me of the 1991 Now, if you missed out on last night's party, don't miss out tonight because the Club Lagoon Super Club is the wildest party on the planet. We expect to do tonight.
Hey, did you get a picture of the peace sign? Yeah, the peace sign.
As you can see, it's the 2nd of February, 1991, and a beautiful morning at Panama City Beach. And you hear the seagulls and the surf, I imagine, on the tape. I'm standing on our deck, looking up the Gulf towards Pensacola. The object of this tape, I'm going to try to get a picture of our deck. It's kind of hard to do, but I'll go from the inside the house and see if I can. It's just a small deck, a couple of chairs on it and a railing up on really the 3rd floor when we're looking out at the beach. On the other side, out to the parking lot, it's the 2nd floor. Now I've turned around and I'm looking east down at our fishing dock. They catch quite a few fish off the dock. I haven't tried fishing there yet, but we've walked out several times, and now I'm sure in the next day or two we'll get out that way. Probably not today, as this is Tuesday and Evelyn and I usually go to the movie in the afternoon. They got a good deal for movies here for senior citizens. On Tuesdays it's $3.50 for any one of 5 movies that are at that particular complex. Usually decide when to go out and try fishing by watching out here to see if the fish are there. Usually can either see some fish swimming around in the water, or if not that, there's a bunch of birds that swarm around where the fish are. And when the birds are chasing them, is a good time to catch them. Fella Jack Frazier lives just below us, fishes regularly. He goes out and he catches 8, 9, 10 pound bonitas. He has a lot of fun catching them. They're not very good eating fish, but I'll settle for catching a few of those. maybe later on we can go down the river ways and catch some rose fish, which are very good eating. I guess Bill calls them something else on the South Carolina coast, but over here they call them rose fish. They look a lot like a big bass, but they have a black ring on their tail, kind of like an eye, that makes them easy to identify. Said it's kind of hard to get much of a picture of our deck, but this is standing in our doorway, and you can see the railing and how the chairs are on the deck. That's through our door. Through the window, standing back by the edge of one of the two beds that are in the room. We spend a lot of time watching CNN and listening to the news in the Persian Gulf. And we just got the National Geographic yesterday, and this picture, or this map rather, was in the Geographic. Evelyn decided to stick it up on the wall so we could refer to it as we were listening to where things were happening there in the Gulf. It's surprising how you never really was sure the location of some of those countries. Even Israel, I never quite realized how small it was in comparison to the other Arab countries. I can see why they feel like they're surrounded by Arabs. Now I'm doing what I say you should never do, trying to make tape of a room or any area where you're standing in a dimly lit room looking into a bright window. I'm kind of experimenting here because I closed the iris down quite a bit to see if I get anything worthwhile. Picture of our dining area, living room, bedroom are all the same room. I'm standing back of the second bed, between the bed and the kitchen, which is all in the same room too. We have a refrigerator and a range and kitchen sink area, which I'm leaning up against, and between the bed we're looking at and where I'm standing is another bed just like that one. And that's our television. All the wires hanging down are due to the fact that I concocted a system so we could keep our video camera hooked up all the time and tape anything that's on TV or show any tapes we want to without doing any extra wiring. Guess I'll be able to remember how to put it back the way it was when we get ready to leave. Took some pictures of the room earlier on this tape, but can't really remember. So as long as I had it going, I thought I'd show this other area. That's our dresser and lamps and our only place we have to hang clothes. And if I would continue going this way now into the bath area, that's the area going in. It goes entranceway into the bathroom and also the exit out onto the parking lot side of our building. When I get through with this bit of tape, I'll open that door and show how it goes out into the parking lot. This is the area I was telling about, where the refrigerator and our storage for suitcases on top of the refrigerator, and Evelyn would crown me for taking it without straightening the area up. However, I'm taking it. Looking out the door to the north, out into the parking area. Little office building where we register when we come in, and it's where we do all of our business. Mail our letters and onto the swimming pool. By the front of the office building. And as I'm taping this, no cars have gone by. There goes one by. and very little traffic on that road. However, the first week of April will be a different story. We were here last year when the spring breakers were here, and there were times in the afternoon and evening we just could not get out onto that street. The traffic was jammed out there and not moving, and they didn't care. Kids didn't care if it was moving or not. They were playing instruments and singing and going up and down the strip. That's really the only street in Panama City Beach. Little room in the center of this tape. In the lower center is our laundry room. It has 3 washers and 3 dryers in it, and is meant only for the guests here at the motel.
Here wait to go home, living in desert tents, waiting to go home alive or dead. Charles Jaco, CNN, Saudi Arabia.
Let's take a now seen as Mike Capps here at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Mike?
Sure, I'll wait for U.S. Army.
What are they showing now?
Over there.
No.
Oh, I can't.
This is just a few shots of a not so nice morning here at Panama Beach. The wind is blowing and it's raining. And during the night the tide was up and the wind blowing and the rain caused the water and the surf to come right up to the motel. Still more or less right up to the edge of the motel. We have no dry beach today. And so it's pretty out there looking at the waves, the breakers out in the Gulf. Nobody out there surfing today though. Very few seagulls around. There's one brave one hunched up down here. If I were to go in and get a couple pieces of bread and throw out here, they'd gather around by the hundreds. They discourage people feeding the seagulls, so we haven't been doing that this year. They have a lot of fun up in the wind when This area I'm taking down along the lake, the Gulf front is just below our motel. This is the entrance to the long fishing dock that goes out into the Gulf. Just turned around and taking pictures the opposite direction across our street that runs by our motel. You can see the date on this. If I'd be taking these pictures 2 weeks earlier, there would be no traffic on this street. Right after the 1st of March, it's up considerably when the spring breakers start arriving. Also, other vacationers from the southern extremes come up here because it's cooler. Looking east from our area, at the beginning of some of the larger motels, tourist waterfront places. There's a carnival type atmosphere in the summertime here, or in late spring. These attractions are just